Hi everybody, it's Honest John again. Now for years we've been talking about having an open and honest dialogue about race. But somehow or other it never seems to happen. Now, part of the reason is just the complexity of the issue. Right? How does the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow affect what's going on today? We do see progress. That progress is real, but it is not experienced by everybody. Black people, Latinos, and other minorities are still treated by the police and our courts very differently than whites are, for the most part. Schools in minority areas have problems that are just never addressed by the political elite, which consists mostly of white people. There are issues about the distribution of wealth, which is not just an issue about minorities, but also about the poor. Lack of opportunity. But there is a huge issue that we really have not faced. And this issue is plain and simple and clear. And that is the pervasiveness of racism in the United States, not from the past, but today. We talk about implicit bias, for example, which is a natural tendency to have an unconscious bias against those perceived as different, and a favorable bias towards those perceived as like us. But what we avoid talking about is explicit bias. We don't want to face the simple truth and acknowledge that there still are millions of Americans who are hate-filled, malicious racists. They are not the small minority we want to pretend that they are. They are a minority, but not a small one. And they are not a minority in every state. And since there are so many of them, a lot of them are in positions of power. One of them is the Republican nominee for President of the United States, which means that there are enough of them that they got him the nomination. And it's not just him. They are governors and legislators in states that have voter suppression laws. They are the Tea Party caucus in the House of Representatives, and also a lot of senators. The excuse that we made for the Republicans' failure to even try to work with President Obama was that it was politics, that they were the opposition. We avoided seeing the racism there. But look at how many racist websites there are and how many hits they get. And they're all over the internet. Then they are disgusting, but they get a lot of support. And Breitbart, which is a racist website, has a big influence on the Republican Party. Steve Bannon is Donald Trump's campaign CEO. And look at the thinly disguised racism on right-wing talk radio and even on Fox News. And how many people support those media outlets. And maybe the next time someone complains about political correctness, we should take a second look at where that person is really at. The truth is that you can't have an honest dialogue about race with these people. But there is another truth, a truth that is horrifying, a truth we really don't want to look at. And that is that many of the shootings of unarmed black people by police are not the result of implicit bias. They are not mistakes. They are deliberate, cold-blooded murders. Thanks for listening.